Hello, and welcome to Assistant Elections. And given it is the start of August, it is coming up to the time where Joe Biden will be expected to pick his vice presidential pick and the running mate for his presidential election run in November. And the announcement could be made within a few hours after I upload the video, or it could be made within the next 1 or 2 weeks. But given that the DNC will be holding their convention, from the 17th to the 20th of August in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Usually, what happens is the presumptive presidential pick will be selecting their VP pick 1, maybe 2 weeks before that. So we'll be likely seeing the actual pick come out, I'd say, in the next 7 days. I'd be surprised if it has reached this time next week and we don't have any more information on Joe Biden's pick. And I'm just going to be on the New York Times article looking at the list of candidates, possible candidates that could be selected. However, I'd say two-thirds of these people have no chance whatsoever at being selected at this point. There's really only four people that I could see being selected at this point in time. After all the vetting processes have occurred, and some of these people. Actually, I think they've got rid of most of the ones that have counted themselves out, such as Amy Klobuchar. But yeah, I'll basically be going over, the top four picks that actually have the best chance of being Joe Biden's VP, and I'm gonna, show who I think will be the VP pick, due to a various amount of reasons. And let's just start off with, the favorite at the moment, and that is Kamala Harris. The senator from California, former presidential candidate, even though she dropped out rather early in the race before any of the primaries had, actually happened. I think she was actually in the lead of the race for a bit. I can't remember when it was. It was back in 2019 sometime. But ever since then, she, started to take a dip. And as much as she was a good fundraiser, I think that's one thing that could be very positive for her. If she runs as VP, she can definitely get quite a lot of money for Joe Biden and the Democratic presidential campaign. But then again, uh, her race is definitely, yeah, her presidential race has definitely helped gain her some nationwide name recognition, which is also important for, a presidential election, because Trump and Pence already have huge name recognition. Joe Biden has, huge name recognition as well. And, choosing another VP candidate who will just solidify, a name that people know in the voters' minds will only help them. And especially with some of the other candidates who have been considered to be in the top 5 or 4, Kamala Harris, other than Elizabeth Warren, is definitely the most well known in the country outside of Elizabeth Warren, who arguably might be better well known for her um, quite vocal opposition to Trump and her somewhat left leaning views. And I think, Kamala Harris definitely is the most favored by, all the betting sites, the odds on her. Some of them you put $1 in, and you're only going to be getting $1 back if you bet for her. So at the moment, she is, I'd say, about a 60% chance of winning the nomination. However, I think, it's quite important to look at another candidate who has definitely gained quite a lot of uh, media attention in the last week or two, and that is Karen Bass. I didn't make a video on her as she only really gained enough, attention as an actual pick only in the last 2 weeks, and by then I'd already finished making my plan videos, and I could have done another one, but then again, she is quite similar to Kamala Harris in the way that she'll probably affect the vote. She's quite an experienced politician, being the former speaker of the California State Assembly, and being the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus is quite an important thing, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement that has swept the country in the past month or two. And I think she could be a great pick. She's been a prominent figure in the House for a number of years now, but then again, she is quite old. I don't think there's really many questions about her age. Given she's still 12 years younger than Joe Biden, who is the oldest major party nominee in presidential history, I believe. I think so. It could be someone else, but I'm very sure 78 years old is the oldest, and it would definitely be the oldest president, ever. Not even just being elected, but then again, age is quite an important thing, and they definitely want someone who's at least 10 years younger than Joe Biden, which is one of the problems with Elizabeth Warren, and that is why I'm not including her in this top four list. But I think Karen Bass has gained so much media attention in the last couple of weeks, and she's been, they've had, somewhat of a relationship, but then again, there's not really been much talk. That's why when Joe Biden, became the presumptive nominee, there was almost no talk of Bass ever being, in contention for this. And now, she's arguably the second most likely candidate after Kamala Harris. It's quite astounding her, rise to prominence in this race for the pick. And I still don't think, even though she has, quite a lot of, political experience, I think name recognition wise, I didn't know much about Karen Bass before the last week or two, and I don't think many other people will know much about her as well. So they'll definitely have to get to know her within the 2 months before the election. And I think there's going to be quite a lot to come out about her, even though I'm sure the Biden campaign has done quite a lot of betting on her. There hasn't been much, controversy surrounding her, but that could definitely change when the media start to come in, especially if she is selected as VP. You're going to get a huge media storm looking back all over her records. So there's going to be definitely going to have to be more done to see exactly what she stood for over probably a 30 to 40-year experience as a politician. Now there's two others which I think do have a chance. However, I think they've fallen off quite a lot, and that is Susan Rice, former national security advisor and ambassador to the UN under Obama, and she was, really the second pick after Kamala Harris up until Karen Bass, started to take the VP nomination by storm. And of course, she's also worked under Clinton, back in the 1990s, so she's had quite a lot of experience in the executive, which could be quite important. She's also only 55, so again, that's a huge age gap. 22 years, 23 years behind Joe Biden, so there won't be any problems there. But again, then she's never actually been elected to a political position. She's only been, selected by, by the former presidents, and despite her, great international experience, I think that is why she might be Secretary of State. I think she could, I think she is the most likely to be selected as Secretary of State, and I think she'd do much better in that position for Joe Biden than being the VP. Again, there's quite a lot, especially working as, a diplomat. There's quite a lot to go through in your experience and history. So I think Susan Rice would be much better pick for Joe Biden as Secretary of State. Still probably the third most powerful in the White House at that point. And the other candidate that I think has some of a decent chance. Again, they've seen quite a huge rise in the last couple of weeks, stretching back towards a month now. Tammy Duckworth, the senator from Illinois. She was the veteran who served in Iraq and lost both of the legs, and she, because of that, she's definitely going to be seen as someone more middle of the ground, especially like Biden, who can hopefully pick up some of the more moderate or disillusioned Republicans, would you say, that are starting to not like exactly what Trump has been doing in ever since the start of the year, ever since the start of the pandemic. And I think she's quite a moderate candidate, and I think she's rather one of the safe options. And I think given that she's only served 2 terms in the House, and she's only been a senator since 2017, I think she has probably the rest of her term in the Senate and maybe a second term before she can, or she might just end up being in the Senate for 3 or 4 terms. Who knows? But then again, there is not, like I said, it's not a huge it's not a huge recognition across the country for her outside of her home state, of course. And given that she's been in the news quite a lot recently, she's definitely helped grow her name recognition. But then again, I'd say only 30% of the country actually know who Tammy Duckworth is. And but being a veteran is always going to be a great help for any candidate. And I do think that she's uh, she has quite a powerful voice, but then again, um, I think she is better suited to being in the Senate. I think she can definitely rise up to be in Senate leadership after a decade or two. But then again, I don't think she would be the best choice for Joe Biden, and I think Kamala Harris, for many reasons, is my pick for VP. Not just because all the media storm going around her, but she has experience being a AG. If anything, if she is not selected, she will 100% be the the Attorney General. 100%, 100% she will be Joe Biden's Attorney General if she is not selected as VP. But one thing, even if she is selected, it's not like the Democrats going to lose a Senate seat in California. 100% they'll get 60%. They will definitely be getting 60% of the vote in the state, so they don't have to worry about a Senate seat being lost. She has, the insiders of the Democratic Party back her quite a lot, so there won't be any, party tension, which could, possibly, fray the party. Definitely won't be any of that. She has experience. She knows Joe Biden very well. And despite, attacking him back in the debate stages on the issue of busing back in the 70s, I think other than that, she has a very strong connection to Joe Biden, and his late son, Beau Biden, has definitely helped to, create a good relationship with her. So I think they can definitely work together. And being African American in these, especially during the movement that's going on, will definitely help Kamala Harris even more. And just and her presidential run, exploded her name recognition if it was not already pretty large. Probably being one of the top 15 most recognized senators in the country, I'd say, before that. And the presidential run has only elevated her name recognition. So as much as all the odds are in favor of her winning the VP nomination, it's not just because she has a good relationship with Biden and ran for president. I think she is the best pick for Biden. Is quite similar on him. Agrees with many of his stances on issues, and I think it's probably a safe choice, but also one that will only solidify Biden's hold in many of the swing states that he has garnered in the past few months. And with the DNC being held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 17th to the 20th of August, I think that Kamala Harris will be likely to be selected within the week. And if she is, then I'll make just a quick video saying that she's been selected and what that means for the Democrats going into this upcoming election. And I think that's all. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.